Hello class, welcome to lesson 6 of module 3 where we are going to be talking about rational numbers, alright? This isn't going to be a very long lesson, so let's go ahead and jump right in, take a look at the first half of the notes, go ahead and copy those. And the second half of the notes, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, I have a vertical number line here, make sure you get everything on that vertical number line. Okay. Question we are going to hopefully be able to answer by the end of lesson 6 is this. What are rational numbers and where do they go on the number line? Okay, now rational numbers are a classification of numbers. I know that sounds kind of weird. You're like, what's a classification? It's just the way that we organize something or an umbrella that numbers fall underneath. Rational numbers are essentially just a type of numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look at our answer to that question, our task. Rational numbers include, notice to say that it is not just, but include, which means there's more than just this. Rational numbers include positive and negative fractions and decimals and can be placed on a number line just like integers. Okay? Now let's do a little bit of backtrack. I'm going to come off to the side and we're going to do a little bit of review. So integers, right? We talked about that, I believe, in the very first lesson. Maybe it's second lesson. First lesson, vocab. Integers are so here's our number line, here's 0. Integers are all numbers that are counting numbers. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of the opposites of those numbers forever and ever and ever and ever. So like -1, -2, -3, -4, right? Forever and ever and ever that way, and forever and ever and ever this way, right? Okay, so those are integers. Rational numbers are very similar to integers in that, if you noticed, rational numbers can be positive and negative, just like our integers can be positive and negative. Also, if you notice back from over here, they are placed on the number line just like integers. So they're very similar, but here's the key, here's the catch, and I'm going to circle them in yellow. The main difference between rational numbers and integers is that rational numbers also include fractions and decimals, all right? So if we come back over here, decimals. If we come back over here to our example that we drew on the side, there is technically quite a lot of space here between 0 and 1, right? If I were to put a little line right in between those, what would that be? I think you guys are pretty quick and you would tell me that that's 1/2, all right? Now, if I was between 1 and 2, that would be 1.5, right? Now, if you're super quick, which I know you guys are, you might be able to, instead of use fractions, you might be able to use a decimal. Okay, so 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5, right? 1 and 1/2 as a decimal is 1.5. And if I were to ask you, hey, what's this? What's the decimal of that purple line right there? You would say 2.5. And if I were to ask you, hey, what is 2.5 as a fraction? You'd be able to tell me 2 and 1/2, right? And that exact same thing works as you move to the other side of the 0. You'll have -1/2, -1 and 1/2, -2 and 1/2, and so on, right? Same thing with the decimals. You'll have -0.5, -1.5, and so on and so on. All right? So, integers are the whole numbers, the 1, the -1, the 2, the -2, 3, -3. And the rational numbers are everything that fits in between those, the fractions, the decimals, the mixed numbers, and so on. All right? Now, we will zoom out here and put these on the number line. For the classwork that we're going to be looking at for this lesson, most of the number lines are going to start at 0, like you see here, and end, at least where we see them end, with a whole number. So there we have 0 to 1, on the positive side and 0 to -1 on the negative side. All right. Now, it won't always be that way. Sometimes you'll do the example that we did where there's a bunch of whole numbers. But in this example, to keep it simple at the beginning, we're starting at 0. Whoops. Starting at 0 and ending with whole number integers. Okay. So let's take a look. Get rid of these things here so it's not confusing. Like, what are those things on there for? Okay. We'll zoom in some. If the example is asking us to place 1/3 on a number line, and let's say the number line looked like this, you had 0, you had 1 tally mark, 2 tally marks, and then the third tally mark is 1, you know that we are splitting this distance between 0 and 1 into 3 sections. Okay. So if you move, so the denominator will be 3 because there's 3 sections. If you move just 1 up, like that, you've moved 1 of the 3, so 1/3. Now, this isn't a brand new concept for us. I know we looked at this when we were looking at double number lines and tape diagrams and things like that from previous modules, but I want to make sure that we hit this hard so we know that a rational number includes, here let's kind of to summarize it all, rational numbers include fractions and decimals. Very important. So hopefully now you can answer this question. What are rational numbers and where do they go on the number line? That is today's lesson. Get all of that in your notes. I'm going to check them out tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.